Hi, Adam Collingwood again here. Now, you should have set up your IG accounts by now and implemented ProRealTime within IG. And so now it's time to set up the charts. So the chart you're looking at the moment has everything that you're going to need to trade with all the indicators on there. You have the price action at the top here, moving averages, the super trends, and then you have the various indicators here, which is the awesome oscillator, rock and roll, on balance volume, the ADX indicator, and the directional movement index. Okay, so these are all the things that you're going to need on your chart to trade the strategies that you are going to learn. So what we're going to do now is we are going to go to IG and we are going to start I'm going to show you how to set up your chart from scratch. So ultimately it will look like the chart that you're seeing right now, so you will see exactly what I see. So we're going to go over to IG now and we'll start work. So this is your IG trading platform with a dashboard at the top there, live accounts and so on. And if you're spread betting, which is what we're doing at the moment, what you need to do is just click on the arrow here and then you launch ProRealTime. And then we're going to click here as well, launch platform, and then open. So that's just loading now. Sometimes it just takes a little while to load. There's a lot of data to load within the software. And so what you'll see is it's now launched, and at the top here you've got file, display, trading, object settings. Okay, so in file here you can start to build your own workspace. You've got lists here, which if we go to lists, you'll see all of the different popular markets that you can trade, and then you'll also be able to just click on, say, major indices, major shares that you want to look at, cryptocurrencies, and then you can search in here for the top 100 UK companies listed in alphabetical order, so that's all grouped together. You've got your major forex pairs there, so you've got your Oz dollar, Euro dollar, the usual suspects there, and then of course you can create your own watch lists, and that's something that I will show you how to do in another video. So if we just click on German 40 here, this will now start to load this chart here. So that looks completely different to my chart. So what we're going to do now is we're going to build a chart from scratch. Okay, so we're not going to need any of these here at all. This is the simple moving average 20, simple moving average 50. So we're going to lose all of that. We can lose the MACD on there. We do have a look to see what the MACD is doing. What we're going to do is right click here, and what we want to do is just hide that. So we're going to do that in a bit, and the same there with RSI. So we want these to actually show along the bottom so that we can use those if we want to in the future. Okay, so this is what you're seeing here is price action. There's some trend lines also drawn on here, but as I said, we're going to delete all of that and then start from scratch. So first thing we need to do is we need to go to Add Indicator. So I right click there, Add Indicator. So what do we need in here? Well, we need the exponential moving average. So we're going to click on that, and by clicking on that you can see that we've got the SMA 20 in there, so I'm going to delete that, and then the SMA 50, I'm going to delete that as well, and then the EMA 20, I'm going to delete that as well. Okay, so what's left in here is the price, and then of course your execution orders. That's if you want those to be displayed. If you don't want them to be displayed, then you would just actually click there. Alright, so that's to display the orders. Again, that's something that I can get into. This video is all about setting up the charts, so everything that you need. So we're now going to click on Add Indicator, Exponential Moving Averages again. And the first one that we want to do is we want to put the 200 moving average, and I want that to be red. So click OK, and then what you do is you click on the width. Because that's such an important moving average, we want that to be prevalent on the screen. We don't want that dotted, we want that to be a full line there, so you can see already that's showing on your chart just from us doing that. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want a different indicator, which is the exponential moving average 50. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to make that colour a nice blue. So that's done, and what I've just done is I've just deleted the other one. So let's just add another indicator again. I forgot to say we need to add like that. So 200, go back again to the red there, and there you go. So we've got the red and the blue moving averages on here, the 50 and the 200. And now we want to put the 20 on there. So I should just leave that as it is, add another indicator. Again, the exponential moving average, so we click on that and then we put the 20 on there. And this one is going to be green. So that's done there. Now we don't want that to be as thick as the other two. So we just change that. So the last one on there is the 6 moving average, exponential moving average. So that would be 6 day or 6 minute, 6 lots of 1 minute. Again, something I'll get into later on. And then we want that one just to be a thin one on there because it's not that prevalent compared to the 50 and the 200. Okay, so now we've got the indicators on there. We also, so if you go into price here, if you want to change the width of the candles, you can do. So can you see there on the right in the chart there, just by clicking on there, we can change the thickness of those candles, but we're going to leave them as they are. And what we can do is we can also create a linear chart as well if we want to. And if we did that, that's what this will look like here. So if we did that over here, then that would actually make things interesting on the screen. But we're working on candles at the moment, but you can go in here and you can change the price action at any time that you want to. So we're going to leave those as they are at the moment. Okay, so we don't want to complicate things too much. I just want you to have what I have on my screen. So the next indicator that we want to put on here is the magical super trend, which I call Superman. So, that's a first super trend here, which is a 310. So if you click on here, it will actually tell you what each of the indicator is. Okay, but we use this in all our strategies, where to put stops, where our entry points are. So it's very important, super trend. And we're going to make that completely black. So, and that's not going to define an up or a downtrend there. Okay, so we want this to be all black there. Okay, so again, click on there, click OK, and now you can see super trends on here. All right. Then what we do is we add another super trend line, which is again here, and this one is going to be a grey one. Okay, so we click on that, and then we keep that the same thickness there. But this one is now going to be 4. Okay, a multiplier of 4. Okay, so you can see that that one is different to that one, and that gives the price more wriggle room again. We'll get into this later, what the super trend lines are and how you can use them to make money when trading. So we now put the final indicator for super trend on, which is super trend 3, and the multiplier is a 5, and then what we do is we make that one a nice yellow color, so just like that. Okay, so now you can see you've got 3 super trend lines on here, a multiplier of 3, 4 and 5, and you can see those listed on the left hand side here. Right, so we've got super trend on the chart now. Now what we want to do is want to add the indicators at the bottom, which we're going to be needing. Our first one that we're looking for is the awesome oscillator. So you click on the awesome oscillator, and you can see there it is at the bottom there. So this is a very important indicator. Again, you can see in the speech box what that actually means in the information box there. An interpretation of it. Again, another video I'll get into what awesome oscillator means, but this is just video is about getting these onto your chart. Okay, so we've got that one on there now. So what's the next one? We need to put on there rock and roll. So we put in rock and roll, which is at the bottom here. So that's on the chart. If you want to change the width of the line, the bars, then you can do, or you can just leave them as they are. That's one width, or just as it is on set on default. If you do want to change the thickness of the horizontal line, then you can do here. So I can just maybe do that on there, and we can even change the color. So you can set it up how you want it, but the important thing is just having everything on your screen that I have on mine. Okay, if you want to have a fiddle around and change these lines, then that's absolutely fine to do so, but we do not want to get rid of any of these indicators. Okay, so we've now got awesome oscillator, rock and roll indicator. You could even put client sentiment on here. You've got momentum, you've got all of these different tools available that you can add to your chart and take them off whenever you want to. We now want to put on balance volume. It's a very important indicator. Again, you can look in the information box and that tells you how that's calculated. Again, I go into that in another video, why on balance volume is so important. But what we're going to do with the on balance volume indicator is, now that we've got that on there, just at the bottom here, I want to put on there a moving average. So we hover on over the OBV, the on balance volume indicator, and then what we do is we say we want to go to settings, okay, and in here within there we want to add the moving average. But what we're going to do is we're going to add the 100 exponential moving average, and this is going to be orange. So we go to orange here. Where's orange? More of an orange colour, that's the one we want. So you can see that that's showing on there, and we want that to be a bit thicker there, and the same, we go to the OBV, and we want that to be a bit thicker as well there, so it's more prevalent. Okay, I want to go back to the EMA, because I don't know whether you spotted there, it's on a 6, which is the average of the last 6 candles. We want to change that to 100, so the average of the last 100 candles, whether that's on a 1 minute time frame or on a daily time frame. Okay, so that's done, as you can see on there. You can see how that's changed when we have a much longer moving average from that 6 you saw before to 100. Okay, so we've now got the 3 on there. RSI is already on there. Okay, so what we want to do now, because you've got so many indicators on here, let's just show you again. So you click on RSI. So click on that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to hide the RSI. The RSI is the relevant strength index, so we hide it. Or what you can do is you can show it on there, and you can minimize the panel so that it shows at the bottom of the screen. So you can see down here, there's the RSI, so you can click on that anytime it's available to you. We click on it now, there it is, and then we come off that, minimize the panel, and then it's just down the bottom there. The same with the MACD. We click on the MACD, you can see that's what it looks like there, but we don't need that, so we're going to minimize that. Okay, and then what we're going to do with the MACD is we're going to click there, and we're going to minimize that panel as well. So the MACD will be along the bottom there with RSI in case you need to use that, but at the moment we're just going to keep these ones on the chart for now. Okay, now the next one that we want to have on, we're going to right click, add indicator, and then what we want to put on here is a very, very powerful indicator, which is called the directional movement index. So we're going to click on that, and that one we want to do is we want these to be a bit thicker there, make them more prevalent. So again, we just go in there to PX on there, and we can even strengthen, we can even click on these and make the lines bigger there as well. Okay, so we've got the directional movement index. Again, you can look in the information box there as to what the DMI is. Again, another video, I'll tell you only in that video why the directional movement index is so important. So for now, this is all about getting everything onto your chart. There is one final indicator we need to put on there, which is a standalone one. So you've got an ADX here in the directional movement index, this black line here, but what we're going to do is we're going to create a standalone one. So again, we right click, add indicator, and then we go to average directional index. Okay, we're going to thicken that one up to 3, and then the same here, 3. Okay, so that's now on your chart. So you can see here you have at the top, it will show you price, the MA50, the 200, the 20, the 6. In fact, that was a schoolboy error there, so I need to just change that one. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to add indicator, and we're going to go to the exponential moving average. So I can't see at the moment. because it's up here. Okay, so we need to go to 6 here, and then we're going to change that to a light blue colour, so the aquamarine kind of colour there. So, and there it is on here. So you've got the 6, the 20, the 200 and the 50 super trends on there, and then you've also got the EMA 100 on there, which is also down here. Okay, so what we can do, now you've got these on here, what we can do is we can go to, say, the 6 exponential moving average, and we can hide that if we don't want it on the screen. Okay, so you just go into that one, and then you would click on hide. You can go into super trend and hide that. You can go into the 200 and hide that one, so you can see, hide it, and then show. Same with that one, EMA, hide, so that's no longer on the screen. And then you can hide the 20 if you want to, hide. So you can see you're then taking those off, but you're putting them back on as and when you want to. So I'm going to leave those off at the moment. So you've just got the 20, the 50 and the 200 on here, and you've got your super trend lines as well. If we want to, we can close any one of these super trends down. I'll show you again. You just click on there, and then you go hide, and it will take one of them off. Okay, and then back on again, show. Okay, and then they come back on the screen. So if we just zoom in, and you can see, so you've got the red line here, the 2 exponential moving average, the 200, the average of the last 200 candles. In this case, this is on a 1 day, so that means the average of the last 200, the average of the last 200 days. But if we go to the 1 minute time frame, then you can see this is the average of the last, on this red line here, the average of the last 200 1 minute candles, okay, which is roughly about 3 hours. Yeah, it is not roughly, it is 3 hours and 20 minutes worth of candles. Okay, and so all of this is very important. This is the treasure map that we're building now, everything that you're going to need to trade these strategies. Okay, so now that we have that, we also need to put in something else which is very important. I wonder whether you can guess what that is. But I'm going to show you anyway, so you don't need to guess. Okay, so we're now going to draw trend lines. So what we do is we hover over the candle. This is very important. You hover over the candle, and then you right click there. Okay, and let's just do it again. Configure ProRealTime trend line. Okay, so we need to have this screen up. Okay, so we have here major support, major resistance, intermediate resistance, and so on. Okay, so what we're going to do, again, well, explain in another video how this all works. So we want to have major resistance as a 5 on here, major support should I say, and then major resistance as a 5. We can keep that intermediate support. I'll just put that on 2px, intermediate resistance 2px, and then you've got minus support there. Again, we'll just put that on 2 and that one on 2 as well. Let's scroll down to the bottom, and we do the same for major support. So this is diagonal support. We want to put that on there. Major resistance. Explain what all the resistance lines mean in another video, but for this one, we're just going to put this in here. So just put that on as dotted line there, minus support, minus resistance. Okay, and what we also want to do is we want to display hot zones on here. We want to highlight on the y-axis as well, so that you can see everything in numbers on the right hand side, and the same here, display and display there as well, so you can see all of these are now lit up on the right hand side. Okay, so we've now done the trend lines. We keep the density low because we don't want too many lines on there. So you've got the horizontal pro real trend lines, and you've got the diagonal ones, so you can see what it looks like there, and then that's what it looks like there for the horizontal ones. Okay, so we've now got that onto our screen. So this is what if we maximize this particular screen here, we can now just see what this looks like. If we because what we can do is we can maximize, we can go in and maximize anything on here. So if we go to price here, we can then go to maximize this panel. So then what it does is we can then see the full price action screen. So there's lots of lines on here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to hide the 100, which is the orange line there. So we've got the 200 on there, and then what we can do is we can hide the 50 EMA as well, so there's less on there. If we want to, we can hide super trend like so, and then so you can see that the screen isn't so doesn't look so complicated there. Everything means something, that's why they're on there, but we can actually hide those. So if you want to put them back on, again, what you do is you just click on any one of these. So if it's a 20, you just click on show. Alright, so we've now got that onto the screen, and just going to minimize that now, and then we've got everything back as we need it to look like. Okay, so the final thing that we need to put on here now is just the pivot points. So again, we're going to right click, and then we want to add indicator, and then we go to pivot points, and pivot points will show us on the screen of course pivot itself. Here you can again click on the information as to what that is, but it's really about putting in the resistance points on the chart. So you've got resistance 4, mid, etc. So what we want on there is resistance 3 to 1, pivot, and then the same for support 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so what we can do is resistance 1, we want that so everything stays red and green. Okay, so we want that one red, thicker, this one just a little bit less, and we'll leave that one as it is. Pivot point, we want that one to be thick on there, so just made that thicker. So that's what you'll need to do. Your chart, support 1, that one needs to be that thickness so we can see that it's very clear on the screen. Then this one, and then this one we just keep as it is. Alright, so support 1, we need that to be a full line there. Support 2, full line. Support 3, a full line. And then we go up to the top here, and we put these ones as full lines as well on the screen. Okay, so there we are. So you've got everything that you actually need now on your chart, which is the same as what I have on mine when you start to go through all the training. So what we now need to do, so you can see on here, this is the support 1. Okay, let's just move that down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to price. We're going to maximize the panel, so you can see that on there. So you have all the trend lines, support 1, support 2, which are all there. Okay, pivots up here, and then above there you have resistance 1. Okay, and then resistance 2, all the way up to the top there, resistance 3. Okay, so again, go into all of that in future videos, what they all mean, why they're all so important. So we're going to minimize that now, and now the most important thing is to make sure that you save this. Click on here, so close, and then we want to go to here, and then we go to File, So click on File and then Save As. Just put on there Adam Collingwood. Save. Okay, so when you then go in the future, you can just click on there and you'll see everything's been saved in there. And that will always appear at the top of the screen whenever you open up the charts again in the future. And then so at any time in the future you want to look at what's on the screen, you would just literally go Load Workspace and then you go to Adam Collingwood. Okay, and that will bring up that particular chart that is everything that you need when going through the strategies that you're going to learn going forward. And then what we do is we just click on the X there, and then again here, save and exit, and that will close down ProRealTime. And so when you do launch it in the future, everything that you have now put onto your chart will be saved. Alright, so that was a lot that I've covered there, but if you've got any questions, any problems at all, then please message me, let me know. Alright, so that's the end of this training. I hope you enjoyed that, and good luck with putting your charts together. Okay, signing off. Bye for now.